Fuck, alright. We are live. I guess we're fucking doing this. Say something. Behold the victor, bloody and weeping, alone in the void of hollow triumph. Tough day, but the moon's full and it's midnight. So that means that I stream whether I feel like it or not. And that's alright. To quote Suicidal Tendencies, can you say feel like shit? Yeah, maybe sometimes I do feel like shit. I ain't happy about it, but I'd rather feel like shit than be full of shit. Wait, I have things prepared. Welcome, Grizz. Nah, I don't have to complain about Pepsi. I'm a decade past having to worry about being institutionalized. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. Happy full moon to you. Hope everyone else is feeling better than I am. All right, no, don't forget what's prepared. Joel, the last Lunatic Patrol, wrote a comment that said, and I quote, read poetry. So since then, I've befriended two European poets. I know you already know this, Joel, from the comment section. But for everyone else's benefit, synchronicity lined up for Joel that after he instructed me to read poetry, Nodrick reached out, which resulted in the podcast you all may or may not have seen that was posted fucking yesterday, I guess. Two Poets and a Lunatic with me, Nodrick, and Cordell. And so poetry has been a much bigger part of my life since then. And aside from Nodrick and Cordell being allies of sorting myself out now, although I haven't known them long, I consider them very good personal friends already. And I would really appreciate everyone subscribing to their channels. The links are in the description. I'm going to start. Yeah, right. Get around to the fucking poetry. Joel doesn't want to sit through a bunch more nonsense. Let's give him one of Cordell's poems. Cordell sent me this, numbered 33. This poem for me to share with all of you. Isn't that nice of Cordell? And look at the great job they did on that podcast we released yesterday. Let's see how many people we can get to subscribe and support them. Give likes and comments and shit like that. By 33, insignificant insanity. Because sanity itself is blinded, and insanity is true clairvoyance. My walking contradictions reminded that it wasn't even given a chance. I'm insane, you're insane, we're all insane. The world is too fast, my mind too slow. Beyond my choices, I could just abstain, let myself be buried 6 feet below. Tried unrealistic expectations to redefine myself through others' eyes. That was insane. Ain't got definitions. None's even capable to empathize. As everyone is too different from one another, I can't understand anyone else. I'm insignificant? Who's to blame for the loss of innocent? All sane people are the true imposters. They role play anyone to anyone, while the insane are walking disasters. They are true to themselves as no one. I love that fucking poem. And if you check out Cordell's channel, he's got volumes of fantastic material there. He's not like me, a dabbler at this and that. He's a true poet. And spending time with them at one of the poetry readings on his awesome fucking Discord, Pinder's Poet Society, which the link is also in the description. But the first time I attended a poetry reading there, and found that I had very little of my own to read, inspired me to write one that night. So here's the poem I wrote once I started hanging out with Nodrick and Cordell. This is called Dominion, or Dr. Seuss's Divine Comedy. This is my hell. It's mine. It's not yours. You don't get to explore it. You can't map its shores. Here is my torture. My pain shaped the terrain. You don't get to reframe it. You can't warp its plane. These are my demons. I know them by name. You don't get to define them. You can't shift the blame. This is my heaven. Holy fire sings God's name. You don't get to hear it. You can't see the flame. Here's my salvation. I earned it below. You don't get to deny it. You can't dim its glow. These are my angels. They're bonded to me. You don't get to dismiss them. You can't make them flee. This is my being, from its heights to down low. You don't get to judge me. You can't know what I know. Here's my understanding. It's wrong, but it's mine. You don't get to correct it. You can't rule my mind. These are my words, and these you can have, but you won't understand them unless you go mad. And so, aside from the fact that if you join Pinder's Poet Society, you'll hang out with cool poets and be inspired to write your own, I'm going to share some other activity that occurred there the other day or the other week or something. I don't know. I'm not, oh, hey, it's got dates built into it. So on the 27th, if you had already been a member of the Pinder Poet Society, you could have participated in this. But Cordell's awesome. He's always got shit going on there. So join now so you don't miss the next fun thing that he does. All right. So on the 27th, Cordell put out a challenge of the day for anyone who wanted to participate to write a poem containing the phrase, "Hell does not get to have me." And I have not gone through these ahead of time. So let's hope I can pronounce all the words in everyone's poetry. Wait, I'm going to jump over and... Hi, Nolan. Hi, Greg. I already said hi to you, Grizz. Hi, Dust. Hi, Dan. Hey, James, Chuck, and Undertone Man. Welcome all. In case anyone just joined, I'm about to read the poems that people posted on Pinder Poet Society. There's a link in the description of this video that will allow you to join and either observe or participate in such things in the future. But Cordell put out a challenge for people to write a poem with the line, "Hell does not get to have And the first person to write something was Nodrick. Hers reads, I hear it loud outside my bedroom. I see it risen like a refaced giant. Hell does not get to have me. I will not obey. I will stay defiant. Years went by, but still I remember that hell does not get to have me. I shine light that melts all shadows. I am who I am and was meant to be. Excellent work, Nodrick. I love that. Now, here's my nonsense. I have 1 foot in hell and 1 foot in heaven this day. I'm marching forward with a sweet sort of agony and a brutal sort of hope. Hell does not get to have me. I belong to the journey. I'm steadfast in climbing this slope. Grizz showed me up with his poem immediately afterward. Hell does not get to have me, but I bring it with me in my hello. It whispers sour and putrid things everywhere I go. I tuck it in and hold it back. The venom I try to squelch, but oft those noxious gases erupt in toxic belch. This is followed by something by Ilinks, not something, a poem. You knew what I fucking meant. Darkness surrounding, love is the light of my heart, a heaven inside. Though I walk through the shadows, hell does not get to have me. Now we have a contribution by our very own Nolan. Gunshots, screams, and laughter. I've heard it. Gate, rivers, and lake. I've seen it. Blades, fangs, and fire. I've felt it. Sinners, devils, and Satan. I've faced it. Hell does not get to have me. I have it. Beautiful, brother. Now, one from Cordell himself. Hell does not get to have me, as my soul pertains to you. If I was to be set free from life taken by the flu, hell would not get to have me. The devil could make his plea, but my soul belongs to you. I only have you in view. All that's sacred and taboo, all of it belongs to you. Hell does not get to have me, but you get to set me free. And by doing that, us too. Instead, we get to be two, lovers out of time and view, out of sight from the devil, out of sight from the heaven. On earth, you and I revel within each other's presence. Everything I've read by Cordell is excellent. This next one is by This Gray Area, Phoenix. Hell does not get to have me because I am already spoken for by a greater power, love. Hell does not get to have me because I woke up today to once again receive the most beautiful gift, love, true love. Hell doesn't get to have me because I am content with my suffering and accept my solitude for now. Hell does not get to have me because I walk in the paradise of a heart that does not close itself to darkness. Hell doesn't get to have me because it wouldn't want me anyway. By my very being, I would bring out the best in it. Surely I not need worry about hell because such a place could not contain me. The devil couldn't stand me. My demons are my friends. I've drawn hell by the distinctions of silver linings and joyful sufferings. It can be made just as much a paradise as any other place. This is the value of sorting out my life as being one that keeps me from the final death, yet with the end always close at hand. Hell doesn't get to have me because I do not fear death nor any man. I laugh at the threats of eternal damnation because I am a good person without need for doom to convince me to be as I am. Hell does not get to have me because I am already spoken for by that greater power, love. Fuck. Signed Phoenix. I don't know you, Phoenix, but that one really hit me. You themed it to our channel without knowing me or knowing that I was going to read it. I'm sure you're not even fucking listening to this, unless Cordell points this out to you. But that struck really fucking close to home for me. So I'm going to read that again for my own sake before I move on to the next one. Hell does not get to have me because I am already spoken for by a greater power, love. Hell does not get to have me because I woke up today to once again receive the most beautiful gift, love, true love. Hell doesn't get to have me because I am content with my suffering and accept my solitude for now. Hell does not get to have me because I walk in the paradise of a heart that does not close itself to darkness. Hell doesn't get to have me because it wouldn't want me anyway. By my very being, I would bring out the best in it. Surely I need not worry about hell because such a place could not contain me. The devil couldn't stand me. My demons are my friends. I have drawn hell by the distinctions of silver linings and joyful sufferings. It can be made just as much a paradise as any other place. This is the value of sorting out my life as being one that keeps me from the final death, yet with the end always close at hand. Hell doesn't get to have me because I do not fear death nor any man. I laugh at the threats of eternal damnation because I am a good person and without need for doom to convince me to be as I am. Hell does not get to have me because I am already spoken for by that greater power, love. I hope you see this, Phoenix. So much respect and lunatic love to you. Now, Galilad, brackets Tom wrote. Oh, Tom. Yeah, you're probably not watching this anyway, but I enjoyed meeting you, Tom. Hell does not get to have me. I'm at the bottom of the glass. A warm, salty liquid stains the face of thee. I simply want this pain to end, but no. Hell does not get to have me. Are people looking? What a sight they must have taken in. An urge wants this to be the end of my line, but in actuality, hell does not get to have me. Failure awaits. My pain doesn't face abates. But now I must rise, for the future grows like a tree. Hell does not get to have me. Why do I chase this goal? So much agony for a bachelor's degree. I want to run, but I know in my soul, hell does not get to have me. Fuck. This is really good poetry for like a challenge of the day people are responding to. I want to read that one again too, but this will drag out if I start reading each twice. Okay, there's only one left. Nodrick contributed twice, first and last. She's the bookends of this daily challenge. Hell does not get to have me today, tomorrow, never. Because I'm Batman, the Dark Knight, the Evil Slayer. Oh, fuck. And that means I'm out of prepared material now. And it's only 12:20. The moon will be full in an hour and 2 minutes. Tonight's one of the rare nights where the actual full moon happens during the stream, assuming I stay on that long, and so I'm fucking going to. But I'm going to have to take a fucking piss break already, and I know that's poor showmanship, but I drank a bunch of coffee trying to lift myself out of the fucking fatigue of depression. And it didn't really build up much energy, but it did make it so that I have to piss already. Back in a minute if any of you are still here. All right, I'm back. Fuck. Hopefully, at some point, I will get a better computer and learn how to use it. When I have to take a break like that or something, I can leave you with some music by 2 More V's. We'll see what we can do about making Lunatic Live better quality in the future. But on that note, everyone, also please support 2 More V's. I'm sure you saw the video the other day, how we relaunched. Fuck yeah, and I didn't put his in the description yet, but when this is on replay, I will add 2 More V's channel link in the description, and Sally did an amazing job on the logo. So please support her as well. All the channels that I put links in the description are all under 1,000 subscribers, and it makes a big difference for what a channel can do when you get over 1,000. So I would really appreciate people subscribing to their channels and encouraging others to do the same. Grizz. Okay, so next time I take a break, which I'll probably have to, because I drank a lot of fucking coffee, and all it did was made me feel full. Next time I leave, in case I forget, people can look at the merch while I go to the little Lunatics room. We now have merchandise that you can see underneath this video. I assume, if we've got it working properly. All right, let's go up to the top and see if there's anything to respond to. And yeah, I got fucking nothing to talk about. So anyone who has questions or comments, throw them in chat now. Oh, well, hey, Dan, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the discussion with Nodrick and Cordell. I'm sure you'll be getting more of that in the future. I'm sure we'll be doing more podcasts together, or I definitely intend, maybe if our community shows Cordell enough support and he gets a couple subscribers after this live stream, it will encourage him to come on and read his poetry to us himself. So if anyone wants to see Cordell and or Nodrick, more of them in the future, you could go subscribe to their channels tonight, and That would give them all the more reason to come on sometime live and read poetry to us all. I'm really glad you're here, Dan. And I already said hi to everyone, right? Yeah, James and Chuck and Undertone Man. Hello, Amy. Oh, okay. Amy knows Phoenix, and we'll make sure Phoenix sees us. Thank you, Amy. I'm glad you're here. And yeah, lots of lunatic love to everyone. Chuck apparently got kicked out of hell in a similar manner to is when Lobo was sent to hell, and Lobo's back. I'm not going to read you and Grizz's stuff out loud, but you made me laugh through my depression. I'm not just depressed. Part of me's present and is happy to see all of you. I've made a bigger space inside, but it contains a whole fucking storm of very serious depression that's sucking all the energy out of my system. The kind of depression that just fucking makes it. The world seemed frozen. So it's somehow just so delicate and dangerous at the same time. Jagged and fragile. So easy to destroy and to shred yourself on. But it always feels like that. And all of heaven and hell are always laid out before the eyes of us all. It's just what we tune into. Part of me's tuned into the frozen station at the moment. Grizz asks, did they cancel the apocalypse? Not that I'm aware of. Chuck says, I got a shoulder you can lean on. Solutions to your problems. Slayed a fucking dragon, plus I killed 100 goblins. Thank you, Chuck. That's very kind. I'm sure we'll talk soon. Good night, James, although you're probably already gone. When you watch this tomorrow, good night. I hope you slept well. Chuck writes, I rescued 3 babies from a burning inferno. It was a walk in the park. Ain't even write it in my journal. All right. Fucking caught up on chat. What do we want to do? I want to try to stick this out until the actual full moon tonight. And I always try to make these full moon things at least an hour. Hello, Beth. Lunatic love back at you. All right, no one's going to give me anything to talk about. All right, I will just say what I'm fucking feeling. This is ridiculous. The world has gotten so fucking weird. I mean, I've been weird for a long time. I'm used to that. But the world has gotten so fucking weird that somehow, without me ever aiming to hit this, here I am in a situation where every midnight of the full moon, I go onto YouTube and stream myself live, no matter what condition I'm in, except once. I've missed one full moon. I intend to make it that I only miss one. Plus, that was in the last incarnation of sorting myself out. This is the first full moon of SMO 3.0. And I intend not to miss a full moon in this reincarnation. But isn't that a fucking strange thing for a crazy person to do? Considering the extreme states I get into. And I commit to just come and go live. And tonight I had more prepared than usual, thanks to Joel and Cordell and No Drip, Nolan and Grizz and Phoenix and everyone else, Tom who participated. Like collectively, you all gave me 20 minutes. The last full moon, I cheated too by having a lot to read. Not cheated, prepared. Not even so much prepared. Last minute, found a fucking book to read out of. And I remember that one killed half an hour. Other than that, I usually show up with one little poem or one little short thing at the most. Often not even that. I just show up. Stream myself for who knows who to watch. It's really strange that we've all gotten here. How the fuck did you get here to tonight? Or if you're watching this later, because I'm talking to the future too. 10 years ago, did you think you'd find yourself wherever the fuck you are right now? Watching whatever the fuck's gonna happen over the next hour? Hey, Dust, no need to apologize. I assume you're apologizing for nothing to respond to in the chat. None of your jobs to figure out what I'm supposed to say. Chuck says, do I know of any ceremonies for the full moon? Tons. Yeah, there's a wide variety to choose from. If you want to talk about that more in depth, we should do that in a private session. Andrea says, have I ever missed one? Yes, I've missed one full moon. Either a year ago, I think it was either September or October last year. I remember that it was a Friday the 13th because I made the thumbnail and I made a picture of Jason standing under a full moon. I intended to make that one. I put up the fucking whatever you call it when it says that you're going to be live later. Like I put up the thumbnail and the title and everything for that one. It was a Friday the 13th in the fall of last year. So maybe it was the September moon. And shit in the real world that I'm not going to talk about on here. Like I was already having a difficult time, and it was a struggle to face that full moon. And shit happened around 9 and 10 p.m. in the real world that I just could not handle. And so I completely fell apart and spent that night screaming and crying, and did not make it for that full moon stream. So I missed one. But there was another night this year. I don't remember what fucking month it was, but the full moon stream was called Everything is Either Love or a Cry for Love. During that one, my internet cut out after about a half an hour. And so I had to come on. So that one was in 2 parts. So there is one full moon Lunatic Live for every month. But I've missed 1 month, and on one full moon, I put out 2 videos, 2 live streams, part 1 and 2. And I don't know that I'm not going to miss a future one, but I really intend not to. And I know it would be easy to think like, if you're really fucking struggling, miss one. It's a slippery slope. There's shit inside me that strongly dislikes that I do the channel. That really, really wants me to quit. And I don't want to give that dark stuff the idea that if they can beat up enough on me right before the full moon, that I won't do it. Missing one makes it easier to miss another. And so until I quit doing this, or until, at the moment I intend to hit every full moon no matter what. Hey, programs. Program says, I've been remembering much more of my dreams recently. Cool. Do you explore your dreams and lucid dreaming much, Mark? I don't know if you've talked about it much apart from trying to help some people via dreams. No, I have no skill at lucid dreaming. The only time I've ever become aware that I was dreaming was during severe night terrors. And they weren't like the cool lucid dreams where you can control anything or everything. I've only had the kind where you become aware you're dreaming, but it involves like sleep paralysis and you can't wake yourself up and you're trapped in the dream with it seeming to happen to you. I sometimes remember dreams very powerfully, and I sometimes don't remember dreams for a while. Okay, so then Andrea wrote, one, haha, you just answered my question. Do you mind saying why you missed that one time? So there, I've already answered that as well. Although you and I are close, I can tell you privately if you want sometime, but I'm just not going to get into the details of people in my life, like outer circumstances, on a live stream. Fine, Grizz, I'm going to read that. You don't get into extreme states. You're Canadian. You get into extreme provinces. Wah, wah. Not everyone can be a knockout of the park. You are surprisingly good at getting laughs out of me when I feel like shit. That one did not get me. Okay, Chuck says, seems more and more like the sky clock is something we should be more involved in. If you're feeling that calling, I would say you should probably look into that. I wouldn't universalize it and say it's something like everyone should do, but if you're feeling that way, there's times where I pay a lot of attention to the moon and other times I don't. You know, it's like Peterson says, you're just born with that, like, what feels meaningful, what you're drawn to. You don't control that. That's a message from God. When something shines for you in a way it doesn't to others, because not everyone thinks that. Not everyone's drawn to the same things. Not everyone finds the same scene in the movie powerful, or the same archetype appealing. It's a message from your higher self or your soul or God or some such shit. It's worth paying attention to. It's worth thinking about. Yeah, Andrew agreed with me. Womp womp at you, Grizz. Although, you gotta laugh my fucking ass off from Chuck, so. Yeah, maybe me and Andrea are just fucking whining, and that was a great joke. Or it just doesn't work on Canadians, maybe. Is Nolan already in bed? Was that funny to you, Nolan? Or is that just funny to Americans? Grizz says, Choices was super thought-provoking for me. Life feeds on life and the moral superiority of not eating zombies. Yeah, Choices, the book I read in the last full moon. So anyone who didn't catch it, the last full moon was called The Rising Moon, which Makes sense that that would precede the Resurrected Moon. But in the Rising Moon, I read Choices by, I don't remember the author's name, but it's an excellent fucking zombie story. And I didn't read the whole thing. I read the beginning, pieces of the middle, and the end. But it's fucking excellent. You want someone to read a thought-provoking zombie story to you, go back to the last live stream. Okay, Program says, also, do you find your dreams tend to be more or less sane than an average person? I wonder if many people's closest comparison to going mad would be living in a very strange dream. Or being a very strange dream. Hey, Nolan is still here. And says, try to convince Grizz he needs to model the leggings. That should eat up some time. Yes, when we were designing, I'm going to get back to you in a second, Programs, but Nolan has an excellent fucking point here. When we were designing merchandise, the leggings turned out fucking awesome. And who knows, maybe if this video gets enough likes, Grizz will model the leggings for everyone in a video in the future. How many likes do we need, Grizz, for you to do that? Now, back to Programs being more serious. I don't know that my dreams are more insane than they were before, because doesn't everyone, even a normal person, have very insane dreams in the sense that the weirdest shit happens? But my reaction to them is different. So here's an example of a dream where it's like, I think anyone, yeah, like I've had nightmares like this before I went crazy. And by that, I mean as weird and as scary. But what was scary about it and how I reacted to it was completely different. Like in Phoenix's poem, part about not being afraid to die. Before I went mad, I was afraid to die. And so the dream I'm about to describe, dying would be the scariest thing. But ever since going mad and having my near-death experience, I'm not afraid of death at all. I am, however, fucking terrified of being incarcerated. So I had this dream this one time that I'm in this farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. Not that different from where I live right now. Just not here, not a real house I've been to. I'm at this little farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. And someone very close to me shows up with a whole bunch of black fucking Hummers following them, and all these government agents get out. And I'm looking out the window of this farmhouse. You know the way in dreams you just fucking know? So I just fucking know that this person brought some secret government agency to, like, to grab me and take me to some fucking hidden off the books location where they're gonna fucking experiment on me and torture me for the rest of my fucking life. And nobody's gonna know where I disappeared to. So in the dream, it's like that mad fucking scramble. Like in Watchmen when they're there for Rorschach, and he's just yelling, no, 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 and running around trying to figure out what to do. Except that unlike him, I didn't prepare to like defend myself. Even in my dreams, I'm a pacifist. But it's just the scrambling. Where can I fucking hide? How can I fucking get away? Plan it all out and think that my only route is if I can head out. I don't know how I knew it was north because the dream was happening at night. But anyway, I knew which way was north, and I knew that was away from everywhere. And if I could just get across this one open field, like a hay field. And it was not long after the hay was cut. A hay field where it's mowed nice and short with the round bales. But the round bales were like further apart than they would be in a real field. And they were all just at the, like, further away. And I thought, halfway through the field, it's going to be really easy for them to see me. So it was night, you could see outside. It was, it was a full moon in the dream. So these government agents are coming out all dressed like in SWAT material, but no ID anywhere. Nothing that says police or SWAT, but they're in SWAT gear with guns and fucking all that equipment and shit. Starting to come like to circle the house. I take off out the back door of the house, just fucking running. Thinking my odds go up if I can get out to where the round bales are. Maybe they won't see me, because of those, and that if I can just get to the forest, I can lose them. Because it's dark and the forest is fucking wild. And I was prepared to just run off deep into that. It's like that dark forest that... Yeah, that itself to my former self would have looked scary, but that looked like home. The first time I went for it, I didn't get anywhere near the bales. And they caught me, dragged me back to the house in the fucking panic I was in. They put me in the kitchen of the house. And one of them's watching me. And the rest are like calling someone who, I don't know, was just terrifying and powerful. Even though I didn't know who they were calling. You just knew. It was someone terrifying and powerful was going to show up. And from there, they were going to take me to some hidden location that I would never be able to get out of. And something happened. There was like some noise. The wind blew something over, an animal knocked something over, and they all ran to look, and I took that chance and ran out. This time I fucking sprinted, and I knew that where there was a bee's nest at the tree line before the field. So I ran straight for that. And like slapped it on the way by to wake them up so that there would be bees to fuck with the soldiers running at me. The soldiers ran right through that shit and were coming after me. And then this is like the really fucking weird part. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's that thing sitting there. And what that thing was right in the edge of like what would have been my yard, I guess, because it felt like it was my house, even though it wasn't one I'd been in. The edge of that in the field was this fucking frame of like crisscrossed blades, just razor thin. So that if you looked at them head on, you couldn't see them. If you looked at it from angle, you could see all these blades crisscrossing that formed this frame. My thought was, oh, thank God, I can stand right behind this. And if the one that's at the front runs into it without, because they won't see it because it's head on, and for some reason in the dream, it wouldn't hurt that person. I guess maybe because they were in all their fucking gear. But I knew that if they ran at me to grab me, they would force this fucking razor thing through me. And it's like in the movie, what the fuck's it called? Resident Evil. For anyone who's seen that scene where the grid of crisscrossed lasers cuts the guy up and then he falls apart. It was like, got behind that. And it was this moment of like terror mixed with hope. And the terror was that they would realize what I'm doing. Circle around it and catch me. And the hope was that they would just knock that fucking thing into me. That dream ended with relief. They hammered that thing into me and it was razor sharp. So it just slid through without hurting. I felt it slide through and cut me up into little pieces like this big. And it went like right through, and then just like the movie, I held together for a second, and then I fell apart. In the last moment of the dream, I could see out of each eye as the eyes slid apart and fell in different directions. So it was hard for my brain to make sense of. And the sensation was just thank God I'm dying instead of getting captured. And so I don't think that's a crazier dream than I would have had before I went mad, but I don't think I would have reacted that way. Now, back to Nolan's excellent point, Grizz, that you really, Nolan used the word need here. Grizz, you need to model the leggings. I don't know if Grizz is still listening. So Andrea says, what's this about the leggings now? If you look under this video, hopefully, did it work right? We should have merchandise for sale beneath this video. Now, if you have an ad blocker on, you won't see it, I think. But if you don't have ad blocker, we should have channel merchandise now, and the leggings look fucking awesome. And I assume Grizz has already agreed further down in the chat to model them. If we get to what? How many do we need? We're at 12 likes. If we can get to 22, Grizz, will you model the leggings? Grizz just realized that he has a phoenix tattoo in that spot, but Sally's is better. Yeah, Sally's phoenix is better, so you should model the leggings instead of showing off your tattoo. Dust says, I'm trying to put together some ideas, just taking my time, divided so many directions. All right, take your time. Let me know what you come up with further down in the chat. Shane says, here to support. Much love. Much love back at you. Hope you're having a good night. Chuck says, I just really like the corny puns, especially when they're so quick. And you'll love Grizz. Grizz is great with corny puns. We'll try to do some more Lunatic lives together, so you can enjoy more of Grizz's quick wit. Okay, Grizz says, I'll model the leggings when we have 7 tier 7 patrons, and only for them. Okay, yeah, I guess I should plug that too. So one of the reasons I feel like shit is because I have pushed myself so hard for so many months now. And at the end has been a big push to try to revamp the channel, and it was a lot of work to do things, but I think we finally have a pretty good fucking start. We've got the channel remonetized now. We have a company bank account attached to Patreon and shit like that, so the link's in the description. Our Patreon now works. The channel is now remonetized, and we even have some awesome fucking merchandise for sale. Sally did such a good job designing the logo. And Nolan and Grizz worked with me as well on, we did like design the lettering and stuff. And we worked together on playing around with the merch. But with the Phoenix design Sally gave us, it was really easy to design some cool shit. The all over print t-shirt I think looks fucking awesome. And the leggings just look really, really fucking cool. And so Grizz has said now, I don't know how much it costs to be a tier 7 patron, but if we get 7 of them, Grizz said he'll model leggings for you, and that's public. Chuck says, terrified of incarceration. Have you done any prison or jail time? No, not like jail, but I've been locked in the mental wing multiple times. That's what this tattoo is about. I don't know how well it shows. The tattoo on this elbow is one of the original Rorschach designs. Like it right way up is like this. So that's one of the original Rorschachs from the Rorschach test. And Like, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason spider webs on elbows became a thing was in the olden days when it still meant something, because lots of people just get it now because it got trendy. I don't know that it means anything anymore. But it used to, or to some people, spider web on your elbow meant you'd been in jail. So a spider web on an elbow being a symbol that you've done jail time. I designed this tattoo as a sort of mad pride tattoo, as the idea being that if instead of a spider web you put a Rorschach image on your elbow, it means you've done time in an asylum or a mental ward. And so for me, every time I've been in the mental ward, it has been against my will. I'm not one of those people who fucking checks themselves in because they're having a hard time. Fuck, those people, just found them bewildering when I was in there. I was in there against my will. And so the people who checked, like, and I don't mean anything negative about them, just the bewildered was just like, really? You checked yourself in on purpose? And with most of them, it was suicidal depression. I remember one lady, by checking in, it was like, she didn't have to go to work. She didn't have to deal with the day-to-day of life. For her, every now and then, when she got too suicidal, it was like a break. It was therapy for her to go on the inside. Just get to sit quiet and everything was taken care of. It wasn't like that for me. Being on the inside is not therapeutic, is not healing. It just sets everything inside screaming. I haven't been inside in over a decade now. 2009 was the last time. So much of the time that I was on the inside was spent just trying to lock myself down. Shit inside me just going nuts, looking at every way to break a window, to, again, would never want to hurt people, but was just looking at ways like just making a run for it. When I had earned my cigarette time outside, where you were allowed to have cigarette breaks under supervision once you earned it, thinking, could I outrun this fucking guy? Or just lying there in the night awake, staring at the window. Thinking, I know those are reinforced windows, because this is the fucking wing where people are locked up against their will. So I know they're reinforced, but still wondering, if I picked up that fucking table, I'm pretty big, and ran at it, could I shatter that window? Wanting to so badly, but like holding myself that you cannot fucking do that. If you make a break for it, or you try to break the window, or you break the window and climb out, like the way the last time the cops had to drag me in, they left me in the back of a cop car for a little while. They found me, I was naked, fucking bloody, because I'd accidentally cut myself and didn't realize it, running around out in the middle of the night. So they pulled in. I was sure Satan had sent them, and they were like possessed by demons, screaming at them to go ahead and kill me, that I won't deny God. They pepper sprayed the shit out of me, cuffed me behind my back, cuffed my ankles, left me in the back of the cop car, and went in to check my house. I assumed to make sure nobody in there was hurt or anything. I was alone. When they came back out, I'd kicked out the cop car window and was trying to wriggle out. But when I came to the next day, fucking handcuffed, the fucking gurney, it's the rest of the time in there, that thing that kicks out windows and just runs, trying so hard to get loose. But knowing like, no, you do that and you're in here way the fuck longer. Or also what the fuck are you going to do? Particularly the first time I was locked up and I was in a asylum in Toronto. Thinking like, if I run, what the fuck do I do? Nobody's going to house me. My first wife dumped me when I was in the insane asylum. I couldn't go to my parents after running. Nobody was going to house me if I ran. And so what was I going to do? Go live with the homeless? Like be on the run? So I would hold it together when I was in there, but it was hard. All right, next full moon, I don't care how tired I am. I'm not drinking a ton of coffee. All right, this time, here's your opportunity to go check out the merchandise. Take a look at those sweet ass leggings and think how great it would be to see Grizz modeling them. If you can get yourself and 6 of your friends, sign up on Patreon for whatever he said, you'll get to see that. So go check out the leggings. I'll be back when I have less coffee in my bladder. Welcome back, Mercury. Thank you. I know drinking water looks counterproductive, and that's the problem. But now I feel all fucking dehydrated because coffee's a fucking diuretic. It flushes all the liquids out of your system. So I'm thirsty. Oh, good night, Andrea. I see Chuck saying good night to you. So if you're still here, good night. I love you. Let's talk sometime. Hey, I think I know who you are, Mushroom Wabbit. But yeah, you go ahead and do some magic on your name. Yeah, see, I knew it was Lapine. Well, bam. Welcome, Lapine. Lapine says, how's it going? Oh, painfully. I'm in rough shape. But marching on. And the actual moment of the full moon is like 18 minutes away. It's at 1:22 a.m. my time. It is right now 1:04 a.m. So we're sticking this out until at least the full moon. Hey, Tarot for Self-Knowledge is here. Oh, fuck, you're near Northampton? Fuck. Where's Alan Moore live? If you run into him, you've got to tell him to come on the channel and talk to me. All right, for people who don't know, Tarot for Self-Knowledge is fucking awesome. He's a dear friend of mine, and anyone interested in tarot should go subscribe to his channel. And I hope I plugged Andrea's. I must have. But anyway, go subscribe to Andrea's channel and go subscribe to Tarot for Self-Knowledge if you like tarot. But Tarot for Self-Knowledge is traveling at the moment and is near Northampton, which woke me the fuck up inside in a way coffee didn't, because that's where Alan Moore lives. He's a fucking weirdo who doesn't travel anywhere and doesn't have internet in his house. He is completely disconnected from the world. And he lives in Northampton. And he loves Northampton. And so synchronicity, you can't fucking miss him. If you're on the street when he's on the street, if you run into him, set me up a podcast with him. That would be fucking awesome. That's my biggest get. That's the one thing that would make me really fucking excited to do a podcast, no matter how depressed I was at the time. Yeah, Jerusalem's set in Northampton, and Northampton is where Alan Moore's lived either most or all of his life. And the point of Jerusalem is that, like in Jerusalem, he writes about how Northampton is like basically the center of the universe, like that everything crosses there, and it's the most important place. It's the center of the world. But he didn't mean it as in actually Northampton is. He meant it as in every place is the center of the world. And that rather than traveling to get to know the world, for him, the way to really get to know the world was to live your whole life in one place and to truly know that place. I remember him once saying something like that he was watching some footage of some native tribe somewhere that you would think, oh, they're so different than us. They live somewhere so different. When he's talking about the experience, he said at one point, he just saw footage of their hut was leaking in the middle of the night. And the woman says to the husband to fix the leak. And he says, oh, I'll fix it in the morning, and goes back to bed with the roof leaking. Alan Moore just points out the human experience is everywhere. And that wherever you are is the center of the world. And that you can spend your whole life getting to know one place. All right, let's see if there were any questions or anything further up that I missed. Chuck is also a total pacifist in his dreams. Can't even punch people when I try. Yeah, in dreams I can never hurt people either. Like even like when I was younger, pre-insanity, I can remember having dreams where you try to fight someone off and it's ineffectual. I don't have that anymore because I don't even try to fight anymore. But I went through a phase of over a year of all of my dreams being zombie dreams. And in those, I would fight the zombies. I would never fight people, but I would fight the zombies. And at first, the zombie dreams were terrifying. Then they gradually just got stressful. In the dreams, I'm always protecting people, and it's always just family and friends and strangers. And like I know what kind of people I'm protecting, but not who specifically. And usually it's like I'm alone getting supplies, or I'm protecting some house or barn or someplace where everyone's inside and I'm outside protecting it, or I'm off getting supplies. Like I remember I had one dream where there's a group of people that like were hidden away somewhere. But rather than a supply run, I was going through this one suburb for some reason. I think it was like someone at the safe place where everyone was hiding thought that someone, like some family member of theirs, it's that vague idea. So I'm out looking for someone and I come across someone else. It's not who I'm looking for. There's someone hidden in one of the houses that's terrified. And there's zombies around the house. So I like break into the house, get the person. And then I'm trying to get them out through the garage. But somehow it was like I was always having to watch the zombies. So I was always talking to the person where they were in my peripheral vision or they were behind me. And I can remember opening the garage door and just having a shovel was the only weapon in there. So I've got this shovel and I'm trying to kill the zombies before they can get to him. And from the corner of my vision, I know he was wearing a red shirt. And it was so fucking stressful because they kept coming. But I wasn't worried about myself in the slightest. I was just trying to keep him alive, and get him somewhere safe. But then gradually they stopped being stressful. I dreamt it so many times that in my dream I knew I could handle it. And eventually the zombie dreams became like fun. Like watching, there's the kind of horror movie you enjoy where you're actually scared. So that's what's fun, is genuinely being scared. Like when I was 15 and saw The Exorcist for the first time. Then there's zombie movies where you're not scared. It's just fun to watch Night of the Living Dead. In a weird, dark way. Eventually the zombie dreams just became fun. In that weird way. So I was always protecting people or getting supplies, but eventually it was like, well, I guess it's just the feeling of doing something you're good at. Eventually in the dreams, I became very good at killing zombies. Became very good at hiding from them, manipulating them, like leading a crowd one way, outsmarting them, having them wander off. I got very good at protecting people and gathering supplies. So it became like that feeling of doing a hard job, but that once you're really good at it. That was eventually the feeling of those dreams. And for some reason, occasionally there would either be snakes or tigers with the zombies. For some fucking reason. Never all three. And often it was just zombies. But occasionally, for some fucking reason, there were giant snakes everywhere, too. And other times, sometimes there were tigers. So it was like in The Walking Dead, where you see zombies all over the place, in the distance. And there's just fucking random tigers as well. Sometimes orange and sometimes white tigers. More often than not, white tigers. How did I get on that nonsense? Probably because of Chuck. Chuck said something about dreams, right? I don't know. Who cares why I said all that? Moving on. And Grizz would like me to let you all know that he may be a whore, but he's not a cheap whore. Hope you're having a great time in England, Taro. Yeah, enjoy globe romping. Apparently after this, Shane will be watching a zombie movie now. The remake of Dawn of the Dead is good. It's by James Gunn. He was kind of a friend, so always happy to plug his shit. James Gunn was like an online friend because he's from Trauma. I think he did a great job remaking Dawn of the Dead. And obviously, Romero's shit is classic. Chuck says, I see. I've only done 4 days in the mental hospital. It wasn't so bad. But I have family who have experienced horrors in those places. Yeah, it's not bad for some people. It's horrible for others. My first fucking night locked up, there was a guy in the room right across from me. It was after, and like my first time locked up was I went in for a psychiatric appointment thinking I was walking back out and going back to my parents' place. And I was informed that I could either check myself in or I'd be put in against my will, like with guards blocking the door. And I was yelling and shit that they couldn't fucking hold me, and they said we could. And then it got down to, okay, we're going to commit you against your will or you sign yourself in now. And so that time, even though I consider it against my will, I did technically sign myself in, but only because guards were not going to let me leave. And they told me that it would be easier to get out eventually. That first fucking night, it's rough because you have no idea how long you're in there. And they brought in someone a few hours after lights out. Maybe not even a few hours, an hour or something after lights out. I'm lying there just fucking horrified at what my life's become. They drag this guy in who's just screaming and fighting against the guards. They're dragging him. They strap him down to a bed in the hall right across from me where I can look out the door and see him. I'm by the door. He's by the door. And he's just fucking trying to get out, like just rattling the bed, screaming about how it's his twin brother who's schizophrenic, not him. They've made a mistake. And he just screamed the entire night. I don't know why they didn't give him shit strong enough to knock him out, because I've been strapped down and shot up with something that knocked me the fuck out for over 12 hours. I don't know if they gave him shit and it didn't knock him out, or they just didn't give him anything, but he screamed all fucking night. Inside of a mental hospital is fucking hell for me. Yeah, and that'll give you a fear of incarceration for sure. So those are my worst nightmares now. It's nothing to do with death. It's to do with being taken away to a government secret government spot or an insane asylum, or it's never jail. It's always something weird. It's either an insane asylum or some secret government research base or some weird otherworldly creatures. Dog Bark, welcome. Dog Bark says, man, you got a cool loud cricket going there. Don't know if you can hear it. Check it out in the playback. There was a cricket in here that was quite noisy before. He's quiet to me now. Well, there's also all the pops and whistles because I have a piece of shit computer. And that's where Andrea said goodnight. We already all said goodnight to her, and she's long gone. Let's jump further down. Yeah, that's where Lapine appeared. Shane's pointing out that zombie is a great, great genre. I agree. Hey, 2 more visas here. I plugged you earlier, but yeah, everyone go subscribe to 2 More V's channel. He did an awesome job on the song we released a couple days ago. And if anyone missed that, we relaunched the channel, the new brand, by releasing a video that 2 More V's made out of my fucking nonsense. So check it out and support his channel. Apparently the Mormons told Chuck that the Garden of Eden is in Missouri. So if anyone has further information about where exactly in Missouri, they can follow up. So I don't know anything about that. And Taro is responding to Patty, filling us all in simultaneously, that he will be in England while waiting for a visa to Canada. Hopefully, he'll get in 6 weeks or less. Well, I hope so. I'll pray for you, and yeah, Canada will be happy to have you back. Well, at least I'll be happy to have you back here in Canada with me. Lapine says, I had a dream just now where everything was nice. Well, that's beautiful. 2 More V's point says, there's motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking dream. I'm assuming that's a reference to Samuel L. Jackson and Snakes on a Plane. Which piece of trivia about that, during filming for that movie, the writers began talking about changing the name. So they were trying to pick what the new name would be because they decided Snakes on a Plane's a stupid fucking name for a movie. And when Samuel L. Jackson found out they were going to refilm it, he got upset and said, the only reason I'm doing this stupid movie is because I thought that Snakes on a Plane was an awesome title for a movie. And so he made them keep it. But that's why he did that movie, was he loved the idea of a movie called Snakes on a Plane. I don't quite get that, but whatever. He was much better in Death by Temptation from Trauma Entertainment, to plug my buddy Lloyd's stuff. Lupine says, so this is the dream where everything was nice. Normal problems and family eating together. It was a nice dream, and I realized it was a dream because my family is nothing like that. My family in my dream tried to keep me asleep. When I started to wake up, now I'm awake. My real shitty life sitting here. I feel you. It's okay. We can get through this. You've sat in the shit before, and you're still here. You join later. Some of the poetry I read at the beginning might help you when you're feeling in this state. So when this is over, check out the beginning, the poems about being in hell. I love you, and even if you're physically alone, you're not alone. Stay strong, keep going. Even when every heartbeat just echoes fucking a thunder of despair through you. No matter how long a journey, it's over just one step at a time. Once you've made one step, you don't have to make it again. For the length of your life, there's a certain number of heartbeats. Each heartbeat is a step towards the end, and some of them fucking hurt. That's okay, because it hurts, and then a moment later, that heartbeat's in the past, and you don't have to live it again. And maybe this one hurts too, but they won't forever. Like wise people would say about when you get overwhelmed by a task, that you just wash one dish at a time. Don't wash every dish at once in your mind. You only ever wash one dish at a time. It's only one painful heartbeat at a time. And you can do that. You've done that so many fucking times before. Just one painful beat. But it gets overwhelming when you think about how many more there are until you get to the end of the journey. So you just remind yourself it's just one beat at a time. And no matter how much one beat hurts, you'll notice that in a moment that's gone. That you've survived it. So just take it one shitty moment at a time. And see if you can make peace with that. And there's a deeper place that doesn't mind, that isn't so judgmental. That sees experience simply as intense or not. There's a part of you really deep that isn't hurt by pain. You can connect to that place even though other parts of you will be screaming in pain. It makes a big difference. Fucking chat's frozen. Wait, am I still going? Is everything frozen? Or just chat is? Okay, wait, chat's moving. I think I'm still on. Well, I'm glad you've never been strapped up, Dust. It's not pleasant. It's great to have you here. 2 more V's. Taro says, I didn't have a TV for 3 years in Tonga. Now in England, my family plays the TV all day long. I forgot how intoxicating it is. It's a sedative. Yeah, TV can be fucking powerful. I remember once, I'm not going to give names, but I'll talk a bit about the 8 people. I know someone with a cabin way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere that I used to spend a lot of time there with. No electricity, no fucking cell signal out there, no running water. Outhouse. Nice quiet little lake out in the middle of nowhere. And so when we were up there for, over a week stretch at a time often, it's just out in the boat fucking fishing for pike all day. Just hanging out by the fucking fireplace talking. Listening to the little battery powered radio occasionally that just picked up only like a local station, playing board games through the night. I remember I invited this one city friend I had up there with us. And I said, I'm talking about no electricity. It's so nice and quiet, talking about the shitty that we do up there. He goes, no electricity. It's like, yeah, no electricity. He's like, for a week, no electricity. I said, yeah. He goes, how do you go for a week with no electricity? You can't watch TV. And that was his only concern was, he was like, but you can't watch TV. And he couldn't believe that we actually enjoyed being up there. Because to him, if you couldn't watch TV a couple hours a day, you would go into withdrawal. I don't think I've ever experienced that. I can watch a lot of fucking TV at times, especially when depressed. A comfy couch and, the right kind of entertainment on a TV can be a fucking godsend when you're suicidal. I've never had that fucking reaction, but some people are addicted to television where, they can't go camping for a week unless they have some sort of device with them where they can spend hours a day still watching television. Yeah, sleep, obey, consume. Oh, we passed the moon peak. Grizz noticed it. I didn't. Pete says, I'm okay. This is my territory. Don't worry about it. I find meaning in learning things. Anything. I'm learning Japanese and perspective. I'm 1 chapter away from being done with this big perspective book. And I've got 500 kanji I'm currently learning. I don't know what kanji means. Maybe the Japanese characters? So I'm okay emotionally so long as I have something like that to learn for now. Also in the dream, I actively refused to sleep because I knew it was fake. Good for you. Yeah, and everything I said about handling it, I wasn't necessarily thinking you even needed to hear that. But sometimes I take advice further than I, even if I know a person doesn't need to hear something. I'll ramble about it a bit for anyone else who's feeling that way and doesn't have the coping skills that some of us have. So don't take all of that advice as me thinking you necessarily needed to hear it. Just maybe that others who found themselves sitting in a pile of shit suffering might want to hear. And I don't know if any of it was even fucking useful. But I'm caught up on the chat and we've hit the moon peak. So that takes off whatever pressure there was. Yeah, I feel like the obligation's fulfilled. That if I want to wrap this up at any moment, I can. And right at the moment, that's good enough for me. I'm not even going to make a decision for a minute. Because once I'm at the point where I feel like I can stop the stream wherever I want, I also feel much more comfortable just taking some fucking silence. I don't know if there's going to be any more content or not. You don't feel like sitting quietly? Um, then I'll see you next time. I'm not going to keep pushing so hard to make this content. I'm going to enjoy a moment of silence and tap into the peaceful places inside that are beside the frozen hell. And then we'll see what happens. That's making me notice tension in my back of my neck that I wasn't aware I was holding. See, I was aware I was holding tension emotionally, like energetically and psychically. The moment I woke up, I was very aware that I had the full moon to do tonight. I had something very difficult happen today that I'm not going to get into. But something that I'm quite surprised I was able to handle it as well as I did. And overall, the push to relaunch the channel was fucking brutal on me. So many people work so hard. And with all of them providing so much of their time and talent to try to keep this going now that it's all under the fucking lunatics' control, meant that no matter how much it hurt at times, I could not give up. In the final push to get something launched under the new logo, other people weren't putting pressure on me. But the fact of other people working so hard, contributing so much fucking time, meant that I put pressure on myself and pushed myself absolutely as hard as I could, as far beyond what I knew I was capable of doing. To keep this thing alive and bring it into its third reincarnation. I'm so worn out from all of that I could not let myself fully relax at any point today. Or else I didn't know if I'd be able to be here. Because it feels like ungrateful. And so I'm not saying I agree with these feelings, but if I'm going to be authentic and honest, I can't control my emotional reaction. Despite the fact that the relaunch, I think, objectively went very well, despite the fact that a huge number of awesome people really fucking stepped up, despite the fact that I think, like, objectively, I should be feeling good about it. I don't. I just feel exhausted, wounded, heartbroken, and overwhelmed. I'll let the cricket talk for a minute. I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret, so I'm going to deal with something inside for a minute. What a stupid thing to do, to go live on YouTube and cry. But at least I got this done. We got 2 videos out under the new logo. I did the full moon. I'll be able to slow down for a while. And we'll still be able to be getting some content out. I'm going to make another trip to the little Lunatic's room. And I don't know what's going to happen when I get back. If you want to hang out, hang out. Oh, yeah, I have nothing planned for when I get back. So you can either just enjoy your moment and now, you can take a brief meditation, you can pray, you can look through our merchandise, you could go take a look at the featured channels list and see which of our friends you're not subscribed to yet. There's a whole list there of YouTubers that would appreciate new subscribers. Or you can write something that you want me to read to the world, or something you want me to answer. Or you can go do something better. You can turn off the stream. Do as you will. I'll be back and we'll see what happens. That was so fucking surreal as I walked down the steps. How the fuck did we get here? Where there's a dozen people waiting and watching my empty couch while I go take a piss. Felt very strange as I walked down the stairs that time. To have people waiting. This is not what I expected the apocalypse to be like. I had a habit, even though I don't need to hold the tension anymore, it keeps creeping in my shoulders and the back of my neck. I've been pushing myself Like I intentionally was kicking up manic energy over the past week or a bit more, which is not something I advise people with mania to do. Keep in mind, I am an expert lunatic. Like you should not perform these stunts at home yourself. I intentionally pushed the mania for over a week now, trying to get the channel launched. But now, even though I could sleep in tomorrow as much as I want to, I've got a couple days where I can relax and sleep as much as I want. I can't just turn it off. It's going to take a couple days to slow it down. So as tired as I've been at the end of the night, the last couple nights, I kicked up the mania, so I wake up in 8 hours or under. Like still exhausted, but that one fucking wheel spinning that just wakes me up where I can't go back to sleep even if I wanted to, or even if I could. And so I kicked that into action, and every day would just go to work as soon as I got up. I'm caught up on the list of fucking things. Like this full moon was the last thing to keep myself wired up for. And today was fucking brutal. I woke up too soon, feeling just, wanting to quit everything. So fucking bad. Wanting just to go back to sleep and trying, because I could have slept later and still gotten shit done today. But just couldn't. That's why even though I'm exhausted, I'm taking my prescribed sleeping pills now. I'm hoping it'll make me sleep longer tonight. And once these kick in, the tension will stop going into the back of my neck and shoulders. That's why I like this fucking Restoril, which is habit forming. You have to be careful, but I've had this prescribed for years, and I've always taken it responsibly. But I'm taking them now because it'll relax the fuck out of my body. It won't make me need to go to sleep, but it'll really relax my body and make my muscles feel rubbery. And it will make me sleep longer, hopefully. But when I'm manic, I can take sleeping pills and still wake up in under 6 hours if I'm really manic. So I don't know why I'm rambling about this. It's just what's in my fucking head. Yeah, I guess I was rambling about it because there's a camera pointed at me. There's more than a dozen people, some of whom I know, others I don't know who the fuck's watching. And I was swallowing pills. But for some reason, I felt like explaining why. Well, for some reason, because people are watching. I don't know. This is weird. That's right, Jiminy. I love you too, Lupine. 2 more V's says, in an upside down world, watch the fools. And thank you for everything you do, Mark. You're welcome. Thank you for everything you do. Then Dust said Jiminy. Two more V's is disagreeing with me, calling myself stupid, I think. I forget what I said. I do think I said something was stupid. This is stupid, I think is what I said. 2 more V's disagrees, and we're allowed to disagree here. It's not a debate. We're all sharing how we see the world. And the negative shit that I'm letting out. Like at one point I clamped down. I'm not caught up in this. I know I'm not my thoughts. I don't need to be venting when I share the dark shit. I'm explaining the stuff that goes on in my head and how I deal with it. So it's like the Gestalt fucking subpersonality work. I sometimes let the suicidal or depressed part speak, but I'm letting it speak, and that part isn't actually like running the show. I don't know how to describe it. Got that kind of mindfulness where you can treat emotions like weather and thoughts like subpersonalities in a way like other beings in a way as a part of yourself. So I'm all right. I know it's not as dark as I say, as I'm expressing sometimes. I'm just expressing one part of me, how it experiences the world. Or alternately, you could look at it as how I experience the world at times. But I don't experience even the worst of it the way I used to. That crazy shit that fucking gurus and Zen people talk about, climbing a mountain above the storm of the thoughts, like, or Tim Freak talks about it, that making a larger space so that when a close family member dies, you can simultaneously have an immense grief and also be plugged into the inner peace and all that good shit at the same time. The more of yourself you can become aware of and hold at once, the same as like all of heaven lays before men's eyes, yet they cannot see. It's as within, so without. It's inside too. All of heaven and hell is within you. Whichever part you don't think is in there, you just don't see it. But you can get big enough to contain the war between heaven and hell. And realize that it's really a dance and a co-creation. It's weird. It doesn't make the painful shit hurt less. Then oddly enough, the pain also doesn't make the inner peace part less peaceful. The old me would have said that all sounds like bullshit. But that stuff's fucking real. There's just no way you can show it to someone else. Good night, Dust. You're probably already gone, but maybe you'll see this tomorrow. Good night, Dust. I love you. Thank you for all your help. And before you left, you're pointing out that I'm not the first to cry on YouTube. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I've seen a couple other lunatics with channels where they open up as much as I do. One of them stopped after a while, so I won't mention her channel. I think she stopped. I don't know if it was like, yeah. There's another one. I don't know if he still does it. There's one guy runs a channel, and I know it's still active. The others I haven't looked at in years. I don't know if they want to be mentioned, and they're not people I ever knew. And the person I'm about to mention, I don't know either. But there's a guy, blanking on his name, but I think his channel is called Polar Warriors. I've seen a bit of his shit. Like I don't have time to watch as much as I would like to. But he's bipolar and he's got a pretty fucking kick-ass channel. He's very different than me, but he's learned how to handle it well. And his channel's excellent. Much more grounded advice than mine as well. So for any other lunatics who want more channels they can watch to pick up different tips, like he'll give you other advice that is excellent. It is not advice you'll get from me. Not because I don't agree with it, but because it's some of his shit isn't the shit I do, even though I know it works. It's just not, there's a variety of tools and different tools suit different people. But I think it's called Polar Warriors. But you'll see his whole channel is a very different vibe from my thing. But he seems solid. Like he seems to be handling his shit very well. I think he's significantly bipolar like me. I'm impressed with how he's handling it. I'm impressed with his content. And everything I've heard him say, I know is good advice. Pat points out we may have lifetimes to go. You might. I'm fucking done with reincarnation, if that's a thing. I'm getting this fucking death right. I'm the fuck out of this karmic wheel. This lifetime. That's my goal this life. And what I'm devoted to. Yeah, some people watching may still have lifetimes to go. Okay, program says, I actually have wondered before why you take sleeping pills when not going to sleep. I love taking fucking sleep. Like, some of my favorite time of the day is taking sedatives for a few hours before going to sleep. I fucking love sedatives. Like, there's times where during the day I'm tempted to take sedatives. I love sedatives. But I'm responsible with them, so I don't take them in the day. Although I take melatonin every night, which you really shouldn't. I've gotten used to taking melatonin. But with prescriptions, I've never taken them too often, or like I've never had the habit forming where you need to take them just to be like level. I ration out when I can take them, and sometimes I take my sleeping pills because I need to. Other times I take my sleeping pills because it's been over a week since I've taken them. It's far beyond when I could have. And I just want the pleasantness of the sedatives and to enjoy a couple hours of thinking, listening to music, watching a movie, going and sitting out and looking at the stars. Fuck, just sedatives are so pleasant. Fuck cocaine, that's annoying. I love sedatives. Well, the right kind. Like some have like an unpleasant fuzz. Yeah, so not universally. Like the ones that work for me. Some are horrible. Some have bad side effects. And some it's an unpleasant kind of sleepy. But melatonin gives me a pleasant feeling. But Restoril, I've never noticed any side effects from this. And I love the fucking way it makes me feel. Quiets everything inside. That depression's still there, but it's quieter. My muscles relax. It slows everything down. I get thoughts going so fast sometimes, even when I'm depressed. And I usually sort of have two trains of thought. And you've got that back of the head shit. Sedatives slow it all down. It's nice. But don't numb anything. The volume's a little quieter, but not in a numbing way. Doesn't seem to suppress anything. It doesn't matter. I don't need to try any harder to think of how to describe the feeling of these pills. Two More V's says it's a real pleasure and very comforting to sit here with you guys, all of you. I'm increasingly having that feeling sinking in. And part of it is the release of the pressure I didn't even take the pills long enough ago that they're would be kicking in as much as I'm feeling like I'm relaxing. I don't think. So I don't know how long ago I swallowed them. They're either kicking in nicely, but also the relief that this feels like after the stream to me now. For almost 2 hours. Most people don't watch this fucking far. This doesn't matter anymore. Like the pressure's gone. If the internet cut out now, I wouldn't feel any need to come back on and do a part 2 and say goodnight. You know what I mean? It feels accomplished. It could just suddenly end and it wouldn't matter. As much as that one part of me, it's subpersonality shit. There's some parts of me that just do not like that I'm doing the channel. Like, even now, they don't like it, but they don't seem to mind it as intensely at the moment. And the other parts of me that like doing the channel. The agapic love that loves everyone watching, even if you're someone that I don't know you exist because you've never commented or done anything. I've got that general love for everyone. But also, ever since quarantine started, I've gotten to know quite a few of you very well. And I really do love you people. And as pathetic as some of my contributions have been, this is me trying my best. Yeah, you talk, Jiminy. Hi, Adela. You are very welcome. Yeah, if what you want is authenticity, I can give you that. I can't give you a good video quality at the moment or good sound. I can't necessarily stay on track but I can be authentic. And yeah, programs melatonin, the same thing. If I take it earlier than I'm naturally wanting to fall asleep, it relaxes me. It doesn't make me want to go to sleep. Both the sedatives I take relax me, but I can stay up for as long as I want after. Like if I wanted to. If I'm already dead tired, and I'm taking it just so I sleep longer, like yeah, I'll fall asleep quickly, but I would have without them anyway. I don't need them to fall asleep, either of them. They help me sleep longer, I find. And it's just pleasant as fuck to be on them. Grizz wants someone to write a song called I Love Sedatives. Well, the Ramones have I Want to Be Sedated. 24 hours to go. I want to be sedated. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. I want to be sedated. Yeah, so I Want to Be Sedated is an awesome song. But apparently it's not good enough for Grizz. Now someone's got to write a song called I Love Sedatives. Oh, 2 More V's is going to do it for you. And then 2 More V's is backing up. Who'd said authenticity? Adela? I don't know. I'm not looking up. I think it was Adela. If not, sorry, whoever it was. But 2 More V's is adding your authenticity is much needed. Somehow people are more alone than ever, even if we're so connected. Yeah, that's weird. But loneliness is getting worse and worse. But it's because the connection isn't real. like, yes, we can connect in very real ways and Zoom calls and through all this, but so much of social media and shit. People aren't asked. It's just not set up to encourage you to be authentically human. You're encouraged to present some fucking persona that's all polished or. I've made that point enough. But anyway, that doesn't affect us here. We've got a spot where it's easy to be authentic. And Grizz says it would be nice if we could all sit in the same room and watch our devices separately. Be nicer to just be sitting around a campfire talking face to face. Okay, and program says, yeah, it's good that you're careful with those sedatives. They're related pharmacologically to the stuff that Peterson got addicted to. Then you wrote a fucking word I'm not going to try to pronounce. Says are something not to mess around with. The melatonin is totally fine, though. It's a hormone and your brain can handle it, no problem. Yeah, I know the melatonin's like a natural hormone and everything, but so I do let myself take that every night. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, though. Still, probably not great to have my system get used to having that supplemental all the time. But fuck it, it is what it is. However, with the sedatives, yeah, I've always been careful not to take them too often, and it's just a drug that naturally lines up well with me. We're all different. We all have different reactions. It took me years to find the right sedative. I spent years of because they won't just change it 2 weeks after because you've had a bad reaction. They want you, especially if it's something mild, they want you to give it a couple months before, like for yourself to adjust. Because sometimes there's a drug where you have side effects at first until your body adjusts to it and then the side effects go away. So my fucking psychiatrist made me take pills longer than I wanted to if I wanted to try something else at times. But I'm very, very happy with the prescription I finally got. Okay, now Grizz, what's your complaint now, fucker? Oh no, your spiel from earlier. 2 more V's jam. Not writing a new thing. Okay, so you're not happy with having a song written. Now your instructions are getting pickier and you want 2 more V's to sample whatever fucking nonsense I said earlier, which I don't remember what it was about, and put that to music. He's probably already, I don't know if he's still here. He didn't write anything in response. He might have gotten too picky. Or maybe he'll do it. He is a nice guy. But anyway, program's point is excellent. People need to be careful with even what you're prescribed. And I would do my own research. Like they tried to prescribe shit to me that I wouldn't take. Like I wouldn't take lithium. You can't just take whatever a psychiatrist hands you. You really do need to do your own research. And you need to, make it a back and forth. And you got to be very careful with pharmaceuticals. Grizz just wrote there, totally prescribing Seroquel as a sleep aid now. that's a bad one. Seroquel makes me a fucking zombie in a bad way. Seroquel's horrible. I've had that fucking forced on me. Yeah. But then again, fucking, if that's what works for someone else, God bless them. Okay, so Chuck's pointing out Grizz at Insane Clown Posse has a song called Sedatives about being in a mental hospital. Great song. I never was drawn to that band whatsoever. But it sounds like that could be an interesting song. Pat says, I think more and more people are starting to know we are connected. Some people, yes. I believe everyone, including us, is hiding the light. In other words, the ability to love ourselves from ourselves. Once we find the switch behind all of the walls we built, we can learn to control the narrative. Yes, absolutely. That was the point of all my years of meditation and introspection and spiritual practices and high magic. And that shit is possible no matter how dark a place you're in. Okay, I don't know what 2 more views is agreeing with. I forget everything I've said up till now. Programs 10 says the idea of a song about sedatives reminds me of Jordan Peterson's Drinking Song by Akira the Dawn. I have not heard that. And Pat says, I'm not into pharmaceuticals either. I've lost lots of friends to that industry. Oh, I'm not pro or anti-drug, whether they're pharmaceutical or illegal. To me, it depends on the person and the drug, that actual interaction. It's good for medicine to one's, poison to another. Life doesn't come with easy answers, just like our diets. Some of us appear to be healthiest when we're vegan. Some of us seem to need to eat to just eat meat. Some of us can't eat peanuts, can't drink milk. It would be nice if there was that simple set of instructions of how to be human. But we don't all have the same needs. We don't all react to the world in the same way. Some of us can't go in the fucking sun. There's people who are allergic to the sun. Yeah, there's just no easy answers of, oh, this is good for everybody. Except the basic shit, like tell the truth and, the God shit. Those high unbreakable laws. There's that upper truth that Peterson likes to talk about. But when you get down to the man's level of truth, there's no absolutes. There's no one thing that's just good for all of us. There's no easy set of instructions of how to live this life. Some of us get lucky and fall into a groove naturally or get handed the set of tools that we're well adapted to. And some of us, it's brutal trial and error. Two more views is spoiling you, Grizz. You're gonna start to feel like you can just request shit in a chat and have your wishes magically fulfilled. Two more V's wrote to you. I will definitely do that. Not too picky. It's an honor for me. I feel so blessed with you guys. I love you, man. So Grizz knows the Seroquel. Yeah, you're right. It's an antipsychotic, but it fucking turned me into a zombie, and I found it had a sedative effect, but not a pleasant one. Just tired all the time, exhausted, fucking numbed out, and brutal. No energy, sleep so much, so unpleasant. But yeah, it was an antipsychotic, which is why I had to take it because I was psychotic. And so it was forced on me. And I think one of the times that I managed to talk my way out of the mental hospital, it was on condition that I continued to take that for however many number of weeks. But I was so desperate to get out of there, I agreed to it and did. Like I went through the fuck of taking the rest of it. Because it was either that or be inside the fucking mental hospital having them force it on me. Oh, fuck, that's enough going into bad memories. As of now, no more digging into bad memories. Yeah, it was just 11/11 for Pat, so that was the cutoff. So no more talking about incarceration or nightmares. Yeah, we'll go up to what the next thing, what Pat said. The light is always there. Tours agrees with Pat. On the hiding the light from ourselves. Okay, that gives me the idea for the poem to end on. Yeah, dog bark. I'll discuss that some other time. Sorry, that missed the line of. For me, that would count as negative discussion. So those comments are perfectly fine. 99% of the time, I would just dive into answering that. But I just made the decision to focus on the positive from here on out. So programs asking about Wim Hof. Yeah, I've played around with some of his stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, I've tried some of his shit. I think like I haven't really looked into Wim Hof in depth, but what I've experimented with had awesome effects. And now we're gonna read another poem. And by we, I mean my bundle of nonsense. I suppose I was referring to myself in the third person plural. No, not third, first. Anyway, what is it? Oh, right, I remember what I'm looking up. I don't know if this is going to end the stream or not. But we're going back to the theme of poetry. Fucking come on, work, computer. You can do it. I've probably read this one before. I don't care. I'm sure there's someone here that I haven't read it to you. But don't give me a summary. I tried to open the poem. I got a summary that appeared to be longer than the poem. Okay, is this one going to work? Yep. So, Charles Bukowski, The Laughing Heart. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you. All right, last call for comments. Grizz says that's my favorite line. I'm keeping gods waiting. Yes, you are. They're at a different vantage point. All right, anyone else have anything they want to say before we wrap up tonight's stream? Happy full moon to everyone from Pat. Two more V's says, just thank you again. All the love to you. Love you too, brother. That goes to everyone. I mean it when I finish things out saying, God bless and lunatic love to all. That meta meditation's worth it. Two more V's says, God bless all of you. I'm going to sit quiet here for another minute or two and see if anyone wants to say any final thing that they want to get the wording just right. But in the event that everyone's just tired and watching, we'll just finish this out in a moment of silence together, perhaps. So feel free to start tuning out. In case you want to just go now before the moment of silence, God bless and lunatic love. Very welcome, programs. Thanks for being here. You're very welcome, Dan. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hopefully we can talk sometime soon. So much fucking lunatic love to you. All right. Everyone seems to have gotten everything off their chest that they wanted to say. We will consider this stream accomplished. Thank you so much to everyone who stopped by. God bless and lunatic love to all. See you next time.